Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a very special video here on my channel, a video which has three purposes to it. First of all, it's going to act as the debut to the 12 Days of Skylanders 2023, which is why it was snowing in the introduction, and it's going to be doing the same thing for the rest of the 12 Days of Skylanders, which is also why I've changed up the watermark on the bottom right hand corner also to reflect the 12 Days of Skylanders. With that being said, the video's second purpose is going to be for a channel update, so I'm going to be very excited to get into that. But the third and most exciting purpose behind this video is the fact that it is going to be a massively generous festive themed giveaway for the sake of the holidays, because Christmas is known as the time for being generous, and so naturally my giveaway today is going to reflect that. Now, it has been a long time since I last played the Lost Imaginite Mines. In fact, I haven't played it since I made a video a while back looking at my first playthrough of the level. So naturally, it's going to be very nostalgic for me to finally revisit it, since I haven't played it, like I said earlier, since that original video I made. So without further ado, let's check out the gameplay preview. And I'm calling it a gameplay preview right now because the first thing I'm going to address is actually the third point I made earlier, is about the giveaway. So a lot of you have no doubt clicked on this video wondering whether the thumbnail was clickbait or whether I'm going to live up to the promise that that thumbnail is foreshadowing. I can confirm that for Christmas Day of 2023, I am in fact giving away a Robo.
Imaginite, as you may know,
but it's not just going to be a Robo. I'm going to be giving away the entirety of the Lost Imaginite Mines alongside him. Now, if you want to check out the gameplay, the giveaway details even, you're going to have to stay tuned for those, because at the moment being I'm going to be busy looking towards the other points to be made in this video, the ones about the 12 Days of Skylanders debut as well as the channel updates. So when it comes to the 12 Days of Skylanders, what this series entails is exactly the same as what it was last year, but for those of you who are new to the channel who didn't experience the 12 Days of Skylanders last year, basically it is 12 days of Skylanders videos back to back. It basically is a pun on the 12 Days of Christmas, which start on Christmas Day and then they conclude on January 5th. It is a common misconception that the 12 Days of Skylanders are actually the 12 days leading up to Christmas, when they're not. They are the 12 days starting on Christmas Day and finishing on January 5th. So naturally, with a brand new Skylanders upload every single day throughout the next 12 days, that would explain as to why the channel hasn't had a massive quantity of videos releasing recently. I would like to think that I've kept up with my quality, but not so much the quantity factor. And that is because all of the videos I've been making recently have been in preparation for this event. So all of the videos I've been working on for the past 3 months are all going to be coming out one day after the other to celebrate the 12 Days of Skylanders. And boy, do I have some excellent videos slated. So I suppose not only am I being generous on Christmas Day for the sake of giving away a Lost Imaginite Mines expansion pack, but I'm also being generous in giving you 12 videos back to back. They're going to be coming out daily, and that is pretty much a general gist of 12 Days of Skylanders. I like during these videos to wear my Spyro themed Christmas jumper, because given that this is a Spyro Christmas jumper, it's the closest we're going to get to a Skylanders jumper, as Spyro, technically speaking, is still a Skylander. And then obviously I have my Christmas channel icon to go alongside it all for the festivities, if you will. So that's for 12 Days of Skylanders. We should be very excited about it, and that's also updated you on my channel as to why the quantity of the videos has been lackluster recently. I've been too busy working on them specifically for this event, and it's also due to the fact that I have a new job which entails 12-hour shifts, so whenever I'm not on those 12-hour shifts, I'm recovering from the 12-hour shifts that I have worked beforehand. But the bright side to having this much work on my hands is that it has made me capable of affording such giveaways as for Lost Imaginite Mines. So don't thank me for giving away for Lost Imaginite Mines, thank the place that I work that paid me so well. But that being said, for Lost Imaginite Mines. This is the second playthrough right here. As you can tell, Robo's going through it like a beast, but I thought as though if I'm going to give away for Lost Imaginite Mines, then it's only right to preview exactly what it is we're getting into here, because obviously Lost Imaginite Mines has Robo, a brand new level to explore, which we're currently seeing in the gameplay before us, and then there's also the magic creation crystal that comes with it, and the whole lot is going to be part of the giveaway for one lucky winner on this Christmas Day. Now, the important thing to note about the giveaway is that it closes on December 31st, so you best keep that in mind so you enter it in time. But now that I have discussed for free purposes behind this video, we are going to be dedicating ourselves 1000% to the gameplay we see before us, where obviously Robo has entered into one of the more hidden areas of the Lost Imaginite Mines. We're going to be trying to achieve as close to 100% in this run as we possibly can. But that's not going to come without its failures, because as you can tell, I miserably failed the troll radio right there. So let's try it again, because as they say, second time is the charm and everything. And here we go with the smallest, most sector of the troll radio, but we still timed it correctly, so I suppose second time truly is the charm. Now a chest has been added to the vault for the sake of us completing the troll radio successfully, which is, as they say, awesome. And by they I mean me, because I just said it right now, my mouth open, words came out, that's exactly what saying something means. So naturally we absolutely obliterated that vote, because Robo is very good at one-on-ones, because he can charge up an ability that creates a drill arrow point, and then that drill arrow point will basically keep that enemy in a stun loop whilst you continue to onslaught it with other attacks. Now Robo right here isn't even using some of his more useful attacks, because what he can do is he can laser up on the enemy with his laser eyes. That penetrates through walls, by the way. And then that enemy, as it's been lasered, has increased damage dealt to it from all Robo's other attacks. Another smart thing you can do is that you're seeing this a lot with my charge and drill arrow. You saw it earlier against those enemies, where I am charging up the drill arrow, I'm sending it off at one enemy, and then that one enemy is stuck in a stun loop whilst I focus on some other enemies. Now with a bad bounce here, because he's a big enemy that's going to require a lot of damage being dealt against him. Obviously I'm doing the laser as the very first thing I do, because now that he has been lasered, whilst he's in that state, being affected by the laser, the damage is being increased upon him. And just like that, we obliterated him, because Robo has a really great flow to his moveset. So his secondary attack allows him to curl up into a little ball, charge forwards. It's great for speeding through a level. And then you can jump immediately out of that attack to avoid the cooldown, and you can jump straight into one of his jumping attacks, because that fires off drill arrows all around him. Now that right there, which looked like absolute obliteration, was what is known as his soul gem. His soul gem is basically Chopper's soul gem on steroids. It is incredibly destructive and so much fun to use. As is the Sky Shield, which you saw right there, allows him to turn into a massive drill, because Robo is a drill-themed robot archer. Really, you can't go wrong with that. But right there, that was an example of the laser penetrating through not only walls but enemies. So I fired off laser and it hit 3 enemies, and all of those enemies had increased damage dealt against them. So Robo is not only good, like I said earlier, at one-on-ones when it comes to just absolutely obliterating an enemy with an onslaught of attacks that they cannot escape from due to the stun loop, but also he can quite easily deal with crowds because of the fact that the laser hits multiple opponents, and then other opponents can be left in a stun loop whilst you attack the other ones that seem to want Robo dead. I can't imagine why enemies would want Robo dead. I would imagine that the enemies actually just want to own a Robo because he's so rare and expensive. I mean, this giveaway, for Pete's sake, when buying the Lost Imaginite Mines, I didn't get as good a deal as I did for it the first time, because when I made that video about my first time playing through the Lost Imaginite Mines, that was me celebrating the fact that I was able to get the expansion pack on eBay for £60. If you can find a deal on the Lost Imaginite Mines nowadays at £60, then you have yourself an absolute bargain on your hands. Now that treasure chest we actually have to come back for later, after we have acquired ourselves some magnetic abilities, so to say. And Blobbers is our main NPC throughout the entirety of this level, so that is freaking awesome, because Blobbers is the greatest Skylanders NPC of all time, and this level is basically what proves his superiority. everyone knows that superiority is a word that has to be yelled. At the end of the day, it is a word that kind of like commands that gloriousness behind it. It's a very commanding type word, that superiority it is. But now, here we are with the second chest level. We're absolutely blazing through this right now because it is a fast-paced level, but Robo's health bar has seen better days. That's for one main disadvantage to utilising Robo, the fact that his health is not the greatest, but when you have a Skylander as overpowered as Robo, you kind of need to balance them out somehow, and in this case, the developers decided that, hey, we might have a character that absolutely obliterates everything in sight, but we'll just make his health a little bit lower and call it a day. Then again, that is the way how they treat most Skylanders of the sort, like projectiles, senseis, because they're not only overpowered, but they're overpowered from a distance. They have very low health because enemies are hitting them so infrequently. Here is the part where I got lost. Bearing in mind this is my only my second playthrough of a level, so it's no wonder that I got lost, but it would appear as though we need more of those explosive mines in order to destroy the barriers, and I did not know where the next mine was that I needed to take advantage of. But say, it is very interesting to be using mines in a mine. It's just a shame that the mines aren't mine. But, you know, stealing mines, at the end of the day, they do say that possession is only 2/3 of the law. That's why Mario Odyssey is a perfectly legal game. You know, Mario takes possession of enemies, but it's perfectly okay because possession is, in fact, only 9/10 of the law, I believe the quote is. And if Mario can do it, you know, Mario is a hero after all, so... but it's fine. But speaking of Mario, I would like to know, in the comment section of this premiere, what have you all received for Christmas Day this year? Obviously, this is going live on Christmas Day because I wanted a giveaway as generous as this to be given away on Christmas Day. It feels only appropriate. And I hope that the gifts you've all been receiving are what you've wanted for Christmas. I mean, one of you is going to be getting a Lost Imaginite Mines, one lucky winner that is, so I'm glad to be making someone's day with that. But outside of that, did you get games like Super Mario Wonder? I'm sure Super Mario Wonder was a very popular gift this year because it's the newest 2D Mario game, which is not only Mario, which makes it an instant hit in of itself, but it's also a critically acclaimed Mario game, which basically means that Mario Wonder has double the chances of selling well because it's a game that's generally liked. And it's a 2D Mario game, so from name recognition alone, it's off to a good start. Plus, there's a movie that came out this year. You might have heard about it. You might have even watched it. It seems as though everyone and their grandma watched it because it made so much money at the box office. I'm obviously talking about Super Mario Brothers movie. That was a great movie, and maybe some of you even got a physical copy for Christmas. So, you know, between Mario Wonder and Super Mario movie, I'm sure there were some very Mario-themed Christmas gifts this year. But say, let me know in the premiere chat beside me what it was you got for Christmas this year, and also let me know about your hopes for the new year. Obviously, now is the time to start thinking about our New Year's resolution because the new year is right on the horizon. It feels like we were only just ushering in the dawn of 2023 like a year ago, and now we're already preparing for 2024. Man, 2023, it's felt exactly like 1 year. Funny that, given how 2023 was a year long exactly. That's how long every year is. Every year is 1 year long. That's why they call it a year in length. That's why they call it a year long. But yes, getting back to the gameplay here, it is a lot of rinse and repeat the same thing where Robo just continues absolutely obliterating everything inside, but you can tell from this preview just how excited you should be for the opportunity to win that which you see before you, because Robo is so narrative. In fact, he's so narrative that that bad bouncer was too fearful to fight him. Like, he was hiding tucked away over there. He just couldn't handle the might of Robo. Because his secondary ability can even like charge straight through those enemies right there, so you can also use it as an evasion attack as well as a offensive attack. But they do say that the best defense is good offense, and now, yep, bringing out that onslaught just for a single enemy very much is the dictionary definition of overkill, and yet here we are utilising Robo Soul Gem for a single enemy anyway. I almost feel sorry for the enemy right there. Almost. But my main criticism behind Lost Imaginite Mines here is that, as you can see, it has a huge reliance on this magnet gimmick, but magnets as a gimmick, obviously attracting things towards you or repulsing it. That's a gimmick that has been done in a Skylanders game before. And it was the Skylanders game that came directly before Imagineers, so it's a game that no doubt a lot of people had fresh in their minds. They would have played it just before this one if they went by the release schedule. And that is for Mystic Vault, which even has similar aesthetics to what you see before you. But those aesthetics are amplified because Superchargers is such a beautiful game with a really gorgeous colour scheme to it. At the end of the day, the colours contrast each other very nicely for a style that is unique to Superchargers. So for all of the Skylanders games, Superchargers looks the best just because of its sheer amount of detail and its very expressive colour palette, shall we go as far as saying. So it's a shame that this level, by comparison, feels rather lackluster, and now we have ourselves a cutscene to watch before us.
Naturally, we can't have the Imaginite bringing just anyone's dreams to life, Skylander. But I'm not just anyone. I could use my braininess to right the wrongs of Skyland. Don't you see? I can make a difference. My whole life I've felt helpless, underappreciated, and even ignored. But with the power of this Imaginite, I'll do more than the ancients ever did. We stand on the verge of a new age of Skylands. I, Blobbers, give you Skylands 2.0.
Defensive systems activated.
Oh, that's... For science!
That cutscene, it's so beautiful. Finally, after years of neglect, Blobbers is standing up for himself. I love how he's found his confidence, he's found his purpose, his meaning. And, you know, when he got flung away, it was all part of his master plan. Skylanders 2.0, at the end of the day, if Skylanders wasn't rebuilt in his image, then what we would be facing is the image of a perfect world, because Blobbers is the superior being. And that's what makes Blobbers' appearance in this level so fantastic, because it's a really great way to honour an on-running NPC of Skylanders history. And so they're honouring all of Skylanders history all at once through the utilisation of Blobbers, and it's just a really great way to pay off of the fans who have been investing in this game ever since the very first iteration, ever since Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. So being someone who played Skylanders Spyro's Adventure back when it first launched, or at least around that time, because I got it for Christmas of 2011, which means that today is the 12-year anniversary of me playing Skylanders for the very first time. I must admit that does make me feel old, knowing that I played Spyro's Adventure for the first time 12 years ago. But that was a game that really got me into video games, especially since it combined two passions I had, a passion for gaming and a passion for collecting things, so I could obviously collect the physical toys and then play them in a gaming world. Now here we are, taking a very artistic selfie with Robo, because at the end of the day, everyone knows that the art is instantly elevated by a slight tilt. In filming, you would call it a Dutch tilt, and it's something that the director of 4 seems to love, because for some reason in the first 4 film, just about every other shot is a Dutch tilt. But yes, moving on from 4, we have a snail challenge here, and the snail is going to bring us all the way back, so now we're going to have to go from collecting all of the Imaginite to go all the way back all over again. Man, that is just so much walk, and it sure is a good thing that Robo's little legs can handle it. But moving back to the Lost Imaginite Mines, obviously, it's a great thing what it does with Blobbers. It's what solidifies him as my favourite NPC. It's so much payoff for the past 5 years of Skylands. But on a more negative side of things, the Lost Imaginite Mines just isn't interesting visually. As you can tell, all of the assets are plucked straight from Cradle of Creation. All of the architecture, all of the details. Like, it's magnificent detail, and the brown and blue colour palette is a unique contrast, which isn't really visually seen in the Skylands. It is unique to this level and the Cradle of Creation. But unfortunately, because Cradle of Creation is the first level in the game, and this is obviously a follow-up expansion level that we received several months later, it just makes this level feel like a copycat. It makes it feel less original, due to both the visuals and obviously the magnetic gimmick that we've seen in Skylanders past before. And it just feels like parts of Cradle of Creation that were scrapped. It feels like they scrapped parts of Cradle of Creation and then went back and finished those parts of the level to be utilised for Lost Imaginite Mines instead. At least that's what it feels like. That is the theory, but it's just a theory. A game theory. Okay, I gotta be careful doing that iconic outro because I'm so vocally talented. Like, my vocal talents are just that remarkable that MatPat might get worried, he might get jealous, and he might just copyright this video if I perform too well at saying that outro. So I have to be careful where I utilise my vocal talents. At the end of the day, that's why I purposely sing that, because we all know that if I lived up to my full singing potential, if I actually sung as well as I actually am capable of, then I'd just get copyrighted every single time I do it, because the voice would just be like far too accurate to the original songs. In fact, the singing would be better than the original songs. Once again, the artists would get worried that I would put them out of business. So the last thing I need is a copyright strike. Anyway. Apparently, these enemies also need many things, like, for example, a life hack or a Be Good video game button of their own, because Robo right now, he is pushing a Be Good video game button, and as you can tell, he has lots of interesting combinations, like that there combination rains down a bunch of arrows, and I have been utilising it for whenever enemies get up close and personal with me, because of how much damage it deals all around you and how quickly it stacks. So naturally, that rain of arrows all coming upon an enemy is going to absolutely obliterate them, and the game is doing everything it can to kind of compensate for Robo's sheer power. I mean, at the end of the day, those projectile shots that hone in on Robo, they were pretty cheap, but they're still not good enough. Like, these enemies might be cheating, but even as they cheat, they still can't handle the might of Robo. Because once again, we used that rain of arrows, but that time it wasn't very effective because there weren't no enemies around me, but trust me, if they were in the middle of that storm, then they would have been doomed. Doomed, I tell you! And here we go once again with the Sky G, because doing this on the gameplays, I saw the bad bouncer and instantly I entered instant regret mode, instant panic mode, and I knew I had to get out of the way of that bad bouncer before it would reduce my health to 0. That's the last thing I need. If I'm trying to solo shot this level as Robo, then dying midway through it is not particularly ideal. Now, even after all that, the bad bouncer was still alive, and after my Sky Achieve, the cooldown was so bloody long on it that Robo just kind of stood there as the bad bouncer started obliterating its health bar, but luckily we were alright, and we even found a nutritious chunk of pizza. Who would have known that pepperoni pizza and robot-like health systems go so well together? But either way, if we continue heading down, you think that all what's down there is food, but it turns out if you go one layer more, then there's a treasure chest. The final collectible, in fact, which is why a chest has been added to Vault for the collectible star in the level. So yeah, very clever collectible that, because obviously it makes you have to explore Skylanders even further than what you'd naturally expect. Like, normally you'd think that for food was the only reward there, and you turn around and go back the way in which you came. You wouldn't think about continuing further because you wouldn't think there's any reward past the pizza, but you'd be wrong. It was not only the food, which is something that Robo desperately needed, but it was also for treasure. And now my Robo is starting to become rich. In fact, my Robo is so rich that it might even be able to buy itself its own Robo. But this isn't the only Robo we're going to see gameplay for, because I have 2 Robos. I'm going to show you a very unique photo as this cutscene plays out, because given that I have my Robo and the Robo I'm going to be giving away, it means that I have 2 Robos in my possession. So I was able to create this photo with 2 Robo figurines next to one another. And that, my friends, is a sight you do not frequently see, because it is very uncommon for someone to own multiple Robos, given its absurd rarity and the price tag attached to owning it in the first place. So yes, it just filled me with a lot of pride to have 2 Robos right next to one another in this photo. Obviously though, that photo won't last, because the second Robo in the photo is the one that's going to be given away. So naturally I won't own 2 Robos after the giveaway winner claims their prize. You know, after that happens, I will be back down to 1 Robo. And speaking of my 1 Robo, apparently he thought it was a good idea to run straight into the slam of the boss right now. But what I did to combat that is I placed on support of the second Robo, so here is the giveaway Robo in action. And immediately, right off the gate, that slam which murdered off the other Robo. Clearly this is superior Robo, guys. I'm a bit jealous that you're going to be receiving it instead of me, because this Robo immediately shielded that attack and took no damage. Now that is even more overpowered than the obliterative gameplay we've seen so far, because even when enemies do rarely have the opportunity to hit Robo, he's not even taking the damage. He's just tanking the hit like a champ and shielding it so no damage is taken in the first place. Yes, it's very convenient that I'm able to still solo shot this level as Robo, given that I had a second Robo that I could utilise. One that won't be in my possession after the giveaway is complete, but I wish you all luck in the comment section below. Obviously, once we're done with this level at hand, we are going to talk about the details as to how to end this giveaway, but it is going to involve the comment section, so don't be shy when it comes to that. Now, obviously, let's utilise our laser and hit multiple enemies at once again, because that seems to be something that Robo is particularly great at doing. Now, I am glad that instead of doing this live, I'm simply just post-commentating, because there was just a lot of things naturally that I needed to go into this video and ensure that I talked about. Obviously, if I went through this entire video and just forgot to say things because I was too busy focusing on the gameplay rather than the commentary, then it would have been awful, because I would have forgot to have said those things that I've been meaning to say. And likewise, if I was too busy focusing on the commentary and making sure that I said everything that I needed to say, then the gameplay might have suffered as a result, and you wouldn't have got a true taster of just the overpoweredness that Robo has to offer. So naturally, by performing both of those things in a vacuum, I'm doing the post-commentary separate to the gameplay, so that then when I was recording each of those two elements and then bringing them together in the edit, because each one was independent, I could focus solely in the moment on whatever it is I was recording in that moment. So I recorded the gameplay first, was able to maintain my focus throughout, and now here I am post-commentating, being able to focus solely on that aspect of the video. So yes, that's my advice for video making. Where you don't need to do live commentary for a gameplay video, don't. If you can post-commentate stuff, then do that instead, because it ensures that you can have everything that you need to say. Obviously, people who are natural entertainers, people who are good, will be able to just live commentate. There will be kind of inter-routine of it, like how I usually do for my gameplay series. I will live commentate rather than post-commentate. But it does take a lot of entertainment talent, apparently. Talent that I don't have. No, now is not a time to be hard on myself. After all, it is Christmas Day, no less. I'm currently spending it with my family, which is why I'm recording this in advance. And no doubt I'm having an amazing time with them, because I love my family and all that. Oh, guys, getting the softly for the Christmas video. But say, Christmas is also a time not only for being generous in terms of giving gifts. Generosity comes in many different forms. Generosity can also mean compliments. So why don't you go ahead and be generous to yourself and remind yourself of the good you did this year, because it's so easy for mind to dwell on purely the negative stuff, but most of the time positivity will always prevail. At the end of the day, I'd rather have one positive thing and a million negative things. Many things go wrong, but one thing just goes so totally right, because that one positive thing is the thing that outweighs everything else for me. So yes, let's be generous to ourselves, and let's remind ourselves on Christmas Day that we are awesome. So say it to yourself. As you're watching this video right now, say it to yourself. I am awesome, because you, my friend, you are in fact awesome. Never forget that. But yes, hopefully that is a self-confidence boost, because at Christmas of all times, I think we all deserve to know just how truly awesome we all are as individuals, and so all we need to do is maintain that. We need to continue being our awesome selves. And hey, you're clearly awesome for watching this video, because you have great taste in YouTube videos, and it has nothing to do with the fact that the gameplay is promised in a Robo giveaway. You know, you're not here for the giveaway now, are you? Definitely not. But yes, it's Christmas is time for being warm, wholesome, and being generous, not only with your gift giving, but being generous to yourself, and also being generous to everyone around you. At the end of the day, Christmas if you find the time to spend it with those in life who you love the most, then that is truly the most selfless thing you can do. At the end of the day, time is a very precious thing. It is something that you do not get back. Once it is gone, it is gone. So choosing to spend something as precious as that with anyone is the grandest form of generosity that you can show. So go on ahead and be with your family on this day. I hope you're with your family on this day rather than watching a preview. You can always come back to rewatch this video at a later date. So yes, shut off the video and go and spend time with the people in your life who are worth the time. And here we go, Rubble Maker. So this boss fight is very unique and interesting. First of all, it has a completely different attack pattern to every other boss fight in this game, as well as a completely unique design compared to all of the Doomlanders. So that in itself makes it memorable when you compare it to the other boss fights in this game. But obviously you can't attack it also shields are up, so you either need to wait for it to exhaust its attacks, or you need to utilise the mines, an ability that was introduced earlier in the level with the repulsion and attraction, and so you need to use that to roll a mine straight into its shield. It's a clever way of expanding upon the gimmicks that were introduced to us earlier. And speaking of stuff that was introduced to us earlier, in the beginning of game, in Cradle of Creation, we obviously fight a Sorcerer Doomlander, and as you can tell, this platform here is the exact same asset, just scaled down. Great job, developers. That's not lazy at all, but I should be more generous. I should be thanking the Skylanders developers for their work and, more importantly, time on these games. After all, this is what we was referring to earlier. And at the end of the day, as a major Skylanders fan, of course I appreciate this level. At the end of the day, like, this was still a new level. It's the last Skylanders level we're ever going to experience because it came for because it was, well, the last one ever released. The entirety of the Lost Imaginite pack was the last Skylanders pack ever to be released. So this is something, this is a legacy item, something to really appreciate, even if, you know, it's impossible for us to own because it's so rare and expensive. Let's say, having this level is better than no level at all. Like, I would take this over nothing. This is something, whereas nothing is nothing, and I'd rather have something over nothing. Thank you, Lost Imaginite Mines. But yes, once again, we have plenty of time to be wholesome, and at the end of the day, wholesome isn't something that being wholesome isn't something that you should savour purely for Christmas. Obviously, Christmas is a time where generosity and wholesomeness really do prevail, and it's a time where it's encouraged, and it's just a natural time for people to feel that way because of the spirits and the atmosphere of the festivities. But I also think it's something that we should practice all year round. You know, not just during the month of December. And remember, kids, Santa is always watching, so you can't only be good during the month of December if you want a good haul. You have to be good throughout the whole year. Otherwise, you're getting coal in your stocking. Don't be a bad child. You've got to be on Santa's nice list first of all to enter this giveaway. Anyone who's on Santa's bad list, and I have a hotline to Santa, so I know exactly who's been naughty and who's been nice. You have to be on his nice list, otherwise you're suspended from giveaway. You won't be allowed to enter if you're on Santa's naughty list. So yes, I sincerely hope you've been good this year. Okay, let's continue attacking Rubble Maker, or at least let's do it in the past, because that's when this gameplay video even was recorded. It was recorded in the past, so I suppose I can't attack him now if the attack has already been done. You know, my past is now the present, but if I make up a new future, then that's my past. So that therefore can't affect my new present. That is the time travel rules that Endgame established after all, or at least, you know, something along those lines. I don't think I got the quote exact, but I was close enough, and at the end of the day, most of the time in life being close enough is all that matters. I mean, exams, for example, have a spectrum of answers for a reason. Like, if you have to do calculations in mathematics, for example, then sometimes the exact answer isn't what they're looking for. They're just looking for something, like, within the correct spectrum. They're looking for you to be along the right lines. At the end of the day, if you, like, do the correct calculations but come to the wrong conclusion, then you can still get marks. That's why you always show your workings out, because sometimes when you work things out, you can show the correct method and just not get to the right conclusion. And personally, in math, I feel as though it's more important to know the correct method, because that shows that you truly know it, even if you do come to the wrong calculation at the end. But either way, with that attack having been utilised, the Rebel Maker has now outsourced itself, and we still have a mine that we can take advantage of. This mine is mine to use in the mine. All these mine puns. So I feel like Chaos in the Lava Lakes Railway right now, which is yet another nostalgic callback to Skylanders Forest Adventure. I'm glad that the final level of the Skylanders ever has all these callbacks. All it needed was someone actually making a pun on the word mine, like what Chaos did, rather than them having to rely on me commentating it for them. You're welcome, Skylanders developers, I just made your level infinitely better. But yeah, we're slowly but surely getting there. The unfortunate thing is that whilst this boss fight is clever, it's incredibly slow paced and repetitive. Like, look how tedious this is getting right now. The Rebel Maker is runnable for such a small window that you just wind up doing the same things on loop time and time again. Boy, I am bored stiff right now. I'm halfway tempted to just stand still as Robo, bring in the magic Imaginator that you also get as part of the Lost Imaginite Mines, then just watch as whatever magic Imaginator was recently created will destroy the Rebel Maker. But luckily I will be resetting both Robo and the Magic Creation Crystal before shipping it out to the giveaway winner. Luckily that's what I have a copy of Skylanders Giants on the Nintendo Wii for, because that will allow me to reset the Magic Creation Crystal. So don't worry about a pre-set character. You will be able to utilise the might and the power of your imagination to bring that Magic Imaginator to life in your own image, rather than the image of whoever previously owned it, because I did buy this pack pre-owned. It doesn't have any of the original packaging. Trust me, I wish I had the original packaging as well. I would have loved to have gotten a set like this at a good price with the original packaging. If you want the original packaging, that's going to be another 100 on top of the hefty price we're already paying. But here we go with Blobbers again! Boom! Super Blobbers saves the day! Oh, that is some grandiose emotional payoff. Man, Blobbers just kind of Falcon punched his opponent out of the universe. Like in Smash Brothers, you can smash your opponent out of the blast zone, which, funny enough, that is the official word for the zone outside of the stage in Smash Brothers, but it's also the name of the Skylander. So clearly Super Smash Brothers and Skylanders are the exact same game, obviously. It's such a shame that there were no Skylanders in Smash Brothers in the end. We didn't even get Spyro nor Crash Bandicoot, despite how wanted Crash Bandicoot was by the fans. Additional voice acting, Dave Fennoy! That is a name I recognise, because Dave Fennoy voiced Lee, and obviously I love Telltale's Walking Dead. Lee Everett is one of my favourite gaming protagonists of all time. So Dave Fennoy reappearing in this level is another really great way to conclude for World of Skylands with this level that pays homage to Spyro's Adventure in so many ways. Even there at the end of the fight with Rebel Maker, where he started healing himself, that reminds me of how Chaos healed himself mid-fight in the Wii version of Spyro's Adventure, because for some reason the developers just wanted to make that boss fight impossible for the target audience. As a child, I could not defeat Chaos. At least not with a small Skylanders army. As soon as I expanded my Skylanders army and got a few more characters, I was finally able to beat him. And that was the most satisfying gaming moment for me in history. I have so much nostalgia for the time where my bash landed the final hit on Chaos, and never have I had a more victorious moment in gaming. So I've been reminded of so many things I love over Christmas. That's an important thing too, to just be reminded of things you love and the people who love around you who love you as well. Being surrounded by all that positivity is very wholesome. But that being said, there is one more thing I want to talk about before getting into the details about the giveaway, and that is about Skylanders Ring of Heroes. In this game, Robo's awakened form was red, which is the exact same colour as Santa Claus's iconic clothing. So with the aesthetics of Robo's awakened form, it helps make Robo feel that much more festive themed. But with that being said and done, I promised you that I would go into details about how to enter the Lost Imaginite Mines giveaway at the end of the video, and now that we've reached that point, it's time for me to fulfill upon that promise. So to enter the Lost Imaginite Mines giveaway, all you simply need to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and leave me a comment asking to be entered into the giveaway. Whilst you're down there, why don't you also tell me about your favourite Christmas memories? It won't help you win the giveaway, but it would be my pleasure to read through all of them. good luck with the giveaway. You have literally until the end of the year, as the giveaway closes at midnight on December 31st. The giveaway winner will be announced during my live stream on January 4th. This will be a Robo solo run that will act as the 12th and final day to conclude the 12 days of Skylanders, so be sure to join me for the live stream to find out who the winner is. I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!